Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, April 9th. It is 6:24 right now. We got market opening up in about 6 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Got a few things here to update and we should be good to go. It's good. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. No. Perfect. As people join in, I'm gonna go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. All right, going down to the 15 minute. Let's be 10 minutes. And back down to the 1 minute here. All right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, April 9th. It is 6:27. We have market opening up in about 3 minutes. I've just marked up liquidity over here. Closest level of liquidity above is at 37,625, and the closest level of liquidity below is at 3,000, or sorry, upper level is 37,625, and the lower level is at 37,000. We'll say 37,400 because this one's probably going to get hit here pre-market. ATR is currently at 65 right now, so it's pretty high. As we talked about yesterday, the average was between like 75 and 80. So we'll see if that's the case here today, like it was yesterday. Overnight, Trump's tariffs went into effect, the ones against China. So just something to keep in mind. Yeah, something to keep in mind if we have some crazy movement today. It's Elijah. I just saw your message right now. Yeah, guys, we got market opening up in about 2 minutes. Looks like the breakout for today is going to be a sell because we do have a sell signal right here. Again, if you guys decide to take a breakout, I would probably wait for it to kind of move a little bit before you hop right in because you just don't know what's going to happen today. I think price is going to be bearish today because of the new tariffs against China. Because China did execute tariffs against us too. So I mean, it's like a back and forth. It's like a chess game basically. So on open, obviously everyone's thinking price is going to come down, but that's not necessarily what's going to for sure happen, right? Just because everyone thinks price is going to go down doesn't mean price is going to come down directly. It might come up a little bit and manipulate, and then come right back down like it did on Monday. So all right, guys, market's going to open up in about 3 minutes. Liquidity right here got knocked out already. These first two levels. So the next level of liquidity below is going to be at 37.80. So these got knocked out just like we anticipated. The ATR is currently at 67. It's high, but it's not super high, right? I think this is good. As long as we don't go like past 100, I think we're going to be okay. It's just going to be the new norm for the next couple weeks, if not months, until things start to smoothen out. Hey, morning, Layla. Morning, Maria. Morning, Steve. Good morning, everybody. All right, so market is now open. Like I said, if you guys are looking to take the breakout, look for the fake out possibly, and then look for the correction back up for entry. Because I think it's going to come back down, but right now it's obviously pushing up. It's doing exactly what I just mentioned. Everybody's expecting price to come down, so obviously you're getting this push to the upside initially, and then I think price will correct back down. I don't think we're going to have a bullish push today. Well, maybe later in the day, but I think initially people's reaction is going to be bearish, of course. So looking at this over here, let's see. So breaking news, or the most recent breaking news, says Trump's tariffs launch a global trade war with no clear off-ramp. Everything's bearish, of course. And we'll come back and take a look at that a little later. So here we go. The price starting to kind of wick off this upper end. This is where I mentioned price is probably going to start coming down from. Yeah, because this candle here is huge. This opening candle right here is about 150 points. So if you guys waited right there for price to come up and then come back down, it's starting to come down here. It looks like it dropped about 50 points or so, maybe a little more. So from that upper point, about 70 points. But again, like I said, you know, the market here is going to be very unpredictable today, especially on open because of the new tariffs against China. I think long term the tariff stuff isn't going to have a huge effect, but the market's going to react to it, of course, right? Whenever we have tariff news, like some sort of new tariff update, it's going to have some sort of effect on the market, of course, because people are reacting to the news, right? It's not like this is going to have a long-term effect, but I think the short-term effect, like it did on Monday, as you guys saw with the updates for the fake news and stuff like that, that caused price to push up quite a bit before it came back down. See, Trump urges the House GOP to pass the tax cut bill now. We'll take a look at that later. All right, so the liquidity up here got knocked out as well. Let's see what we have. This price continues to bounce back and forth. Again, I'm not really looking for entries right now. The price is it's moving pretty wide, but it looks like it might be pushing back and forth right now at the moment. So what I'm anticipating here is a possible range to be established. I don't know when and where, but looking for a possible range here to be established. The ATR is not super duper high. It's currently at 78. So like I said, we want to keep the ATR between 70 and 80. If we can keep it between 70 and 80, then we can probably use a 75 TP stop loss for our MPS entries. Let's take a look at the confluences over here real quick. So let's see on the 1 minute time frame. So we don't have any rejections off here. Price is pushing up to this upper area, so it might come up, bounce off the value high and come back down lower. Looking over here on the 30 minute, we don't have any rejections here as well. So I'm probably going to be waiting until about 7 o'clock for my entry. Looking over here on the 1 hour, nothing here. Looking at the volume profile. my profile here. Volume profile, there's no confluences. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to wait until closer to like 7 o'clock for my entry because there's just not enough confluences here. Looking over here on the clean chart, we do have a rejection off this whole number. It's rejecting off the 37,650 price point. But again, that's just one confluence. You got one confluence right there. Here's the SR chart. I believe this is a weekly resistance. So I marked up this weekly resistance yesterday. And price is back to where it was. So price actually pushed up pretty high yesterday up until market open, and then it's been tumbling down since. So we're currently at the weekly resistance right now. You can see price here. So I do expect price to tumble back down at some point. Might happen now, might happen later. I don't know exactly when, but we do have a rejection off the top end. So we're getting more confluences here off the top end, right? We have another rejection right here off the 37,700 price point. Confluence right there, rejection off the top end, rejection right here off the weekly resistance, rejection right here on the 1 hour off the value high, rejection right here off the value high, and a rejection right here off the value high too. Price comes back down. So with that said, I would like a buy signal here to close, but I would personally look for sells here. I wouldn't really look for buys here at the moment. So I look for the buy signal to close, and then once it closes, I'll look for it to come back down. So let me mark up opening price right here. The ATR is actually really high now. It's currently at 89. Which again is fine. If as long as if we stay below 100, I think we'll be okay. But we do have to pay attention to what the ATR is looking like so we know what the candles are going to be like for the next couple moves. Looking at the overall trend over here, the 4 hours bearish, 1 hour is bearish, 30 minutes bearish. On the higher time frames, it looks like price is looking to continue dropping. On the lower time frames over here, the 10-minute price was bearish, it's shifting to bullish. Same with the 5-minute here, shifting to bullish, and the 1 minute shifting to bullish. So the lower time frames here have a bullish trend. The higher time frames have a bearish trend. They're conflicting right now. So it kind of depends what's going to happen next. Is price going to correct back down and continue dropping? Or is price going to continue flipping to the upside and the higher time frames are going to follow, right? So it's tricky right now. Price can really go in either direction. It's just, for me personally, I think that the sell would be more ideal. The only thing here that I'm or that I wish would have happened was that the buy signal would have closed, which it didn't. So because the buy signal here didn't close, there's no entry here yet for, there's no setups going to be coming for a sell. We had an MPS V2 come up right here pre-market. So if anybody took the trade here earlier, 75, 75, it was the or 70 was the ATR at that time. Looks like this one over here would have hit. The ATR was a lot lower pre-market though. It was at like 60, high 60s. So this sell signal has pretty much been used up already. There's no sell here to take. We had a sell signal here, price retraced, came back down right here on this red candle, and it pushed down further to hit its TP, but that was pre-market. So we got nothing here yet. It's fine. If anything, I'll just wait until closer to 7 o'clock for the next candle to close so that we have another confirmation here for the market profile. Yeah, there's just nothing to take here right now. There's nothing to take, and there's no signals here to indicate that we can take a sell at the moment. Right now, we're looking for the retracement to the upside for a buy, but we don't have a buy signal here yet. So I will, I'll pretty much just be waiting for a bit here for something here to confirm and play through. So what I'm mainly looking for here is a buy signal, guys. It's probably going to be a buy signal that may be pending on this candle because it's so big. This candle is huge. So the candles right now are huge, guys. They're about 150 points. So I don't think this is a good time to be entering trades. Yeah, this candle is about 100. It's about 200 points. over 200 points. We're getting these crazy candles again, similar to what happened on Monday. The ATR is above 100, so this is exactly what we weren't looking for. We didn't want price to be super crazy today. We wanted to stabilize, but these these candles are huge. So this would probably be a good time to chill out for a little bit. Chill out and wait for the market here to come back down, because there's a lot of stuff that's happening behind the scenes that we have no control over, right? It doesn't matter how wide your stop loss is. I mean, it's easy to get kicked out of these positions. I don't know, something's going on right now. Let's see. It seems like something's going on because price is pushing up crazy like it did on Monday. Is there another fake news thing that just happened? The Dow's actually bullish right now. It's 47 points up. Surprisingly. So it says Dow drops more than 200 points as US-China trade tensions intensify. I don't see anything here that's really causing price to shoot up like that. Those candles are pretty big. For today's FOMC minutes day, so the minutes are coming out later at 11 o'clock. There's nothing right now specifically. We do have crude oil stock changes at 7:30, but other than that, there's nothing really here. The FOMC minutes will come out later today at 11, so it's pretty far off. Yeah, there's not really much here today that's really causing anything here to play through. So another update right here, it says Trump says be cool as markets continue tariff-fueled rut. I'm assuming that's why price pushed up. This news event was updated at 9:39, so about a minute ago, Trump said to be cool about everything, and then price started pushing up about 400 points. So you guys can see here that a lot of this movement in the market is all news fueled, right? Like price action kind of goes out the window. Price action, technical analysis, all that stuff kind of goes out the window here, because whenever some sort of news event comes out, the market just moves. It doesn't matter what happens, but it just moves. This is kind of similar to what happened when Trump was first president, right? If you guys remember when Trump was first president, whenever he would send out a tweet, price would just go spiking up. It wouldn't matter what he said, but he said something and price would spike up. That's kind of what's happening now. Whenever Trump does anything or says anything or something gets updated, or something that has to do with whatever's happening in the world, whether it's the tariffs, the war, anything really, it causes price to kind of spike up like this. So I would probably just say to sit tight for a little bit, guys. ATR is currently at 112. It's very high. I mean, if you want to trade this, your TP stop loss is going to have to be super, super wide. So like say, for example, if you were to chase a sell here, you probably want to use like a 110 TP stop loss. Or even higher, maybe even 150. All right, looks like we're playing the waiting game right now, guys. There's nothing here to take. Opening price was down here. We got price climbing up pretty high right now. Go on the 1 hour. Yeah, so within a 1 hour period right here, this candle's pushed up about almost 1,000 points. It's up 790 for this 1 hour candle right here. It's probably gonna push up 1,000. I can see that right here. If you guys are looking to take any entries, I'll mark up entries for you guys. But again, I'm probably gonna sit out for a little bit. I'm gonna stay, stay true to my game plan. My game plan is really to wait for the market here to kind of stabilize a bit, so we can have something to take that's not that's too risky. So we have a possible NPSV2 setting up right here, guys. If the candle closes green right here, this is an NPSV2. We have a buy signal, retracement. If this candle closes green, it's an NPSV2. But like I said, the candles here are just too crazy, right? This is a 200-point candle, and these candles here are pretty big. ATR is currently 107. So if you do want to take a trade here, you would have to have a pretty wide TP stop loss, probably like a 150 point TP stop loss to survive any back and forth that may happen. So let's see. Target said doesn't need to close above the red candle, just green. Yeah, just green target. So like the pattern is basically, so the first requirement is buy momentum signal, right? Bullish momentum signal. And then the retracement second requirement is going to be right here. And the last requirement for confirmation is just a green candle. You need it to close above the momentum though. So it's got to close above this black line right here. Sorry. Doesn't have to close above this red candle, but it needs to close above this line here because you're looking for that continuation pattern, right? So that's what it would have to look like. It doesn't look like we're going to get an entry here. It looks like we might actually get an opposite entry for a sell. So the green candle never came, guys. We currently have a pending red candle right here, red signal. So this red signal might shift price the other way. So let me just mark this up real quick. We had the buyers in control from this area right here as price pushed up, and then possibly the sellers back in control from right here. So the buyers push price up. Now right here we have a high point and we have a pending sell signal. So with that right there, we may have a possible opportunity here for a sell opportunity to come up. Looking at the 1 minute market profile, we do have a rejection off the value high right here if it does push down lower. Same with 30 minute, price pushes down lower from there. Same with the 1 hour over here. Nothing over here in the volume profile. We do have a rejection right here off the clean chart. Up here and down here. And we also have a rejection over here off the weekly resistance. So we do have some confluences here for a sell. The only problem here, again, that I'm mentioning as before, is the ATR is extremely high. It's currently at 112 right now. So if you want to take an entry, you're going to have to go for probably a pretty big TP stop loss, right? I would say maybe like a 120. I think 150 might be overkill. But, or even 110 maybe. The thing is, 110 is pretty far. It's pretty far out. Let me see if I was to take a trade here and I wanted to take a substitute contract. I'd probably be using a 4 contract, I think. Something like that. I mean, for me personally, I'd rather just sit it out. I'd just watch it from a distance. Because I don't think I've ever taken a trade where it's more than 100 points. Or if you even just want to go for 100 points, you can do 100 points. It's just ATR here. Let me measure these candles. These candles are bigger than 100 points, guys. So like, it would be better to go bigger than smaller. Yeah, each candle here is more than 100 points, looks like. Or it starts to. All right, so we have a sell signal right here, guys. This could possibly set up for an MPSV2 back to opening price right here, which is what I was expecting anyways. This is what I was aiming for. So we have a sell signal right here. We got price pushing down. You're going to be looking for a green candle to retrace and then continuation back down lower. The only thing here that's really kind of throwing me off is the ATR. But of course, you can trade off the ATR. You just have to adjust your TP stop loss. So we'll see what happens here. We got 12 candles left on this current candle here. Again, you're looking for a green candle here to close. A green candle and then a possible continuation back down. So we got this bouncing back and forth right here. So again, let's take a look at the confluences. We have a nice rejection right here off the 1 minute market profile. We have a rejection right here off the 30 minute. We have a rejection off the 1 hour market profile. We have a rejection over here off the volume profile. There's a lot of confluences here. It's actually looking pretty good for a sell. Rejections right here off the whole numbers. And it pushed away from the weekly resistance. Again, the only problem here is that you're going to have to take a pretty big TP stop loss. Okay, so we have an MPSV2 possibly setting up here. You would need a red candle to close below this black line, guys. If a red candle does not close below this black line, there's not going to be an entry. So we have a current red candle that's currently active, but again, it needs to close below this black line. I don't like when it's kind of bouncing back and forth like this. It has to for sure close below here. The only problem here is I don't have my TP stop loss. I don't have a preset for 100, I don't think. Or do I? No, I don't have my presets here, so I don't even think I can take this trade. I'm probably gonna sit out of this one, guys. And it wouldn't matter because there's no entry there anyways. So the candle did not close below this black line right here, so there's no entry there for a sell. So it's just a game of patience, guys. If you guys want to take these entries, I will mark them up for you as they come up. There's nothing here yet. Again, you need the red candle to close below the black line over here. If the candle doesn't close below it, then we'll be looking for price to shift back up. We have a pending buy signal up here now. So if this buy signal closes, then again, we're going to be shifting right back to the upside. It's doing pretty much what I was talking about this morning, guys. You know, we're kind of in this big range this morning. Price is establishing a pretty big range back and forth. That's pretty much what's happening. The ATR is super high. It's currently at 107. So let me measure this candle real quick. Yeah, these candles are huge, guys. This is a 150-point candle. This candle went from being red down here to pushing all the way up another 100 points. So it pushed down right here and then it came all the way back up. So it pushed down about 62 points where it was like slightly red, and then it flipped the other way, a total of 150 points. So all I can say is be careful, guys. If you guys do decide to take any trades here, you know, maybe think twice about taking the entry. I think today's going to be one of those days again where it's going to be very similar to Monday, where the market's kind of all over the place and things are just moving pretty crazy. Especially for those of you who just got funded recently, right? If you don't want to blow your account after just getting funded, taking a risky trade. So one thing I wanted to say was congrats to a couple people here in our group. So there's a couple people who started this mentorship, I believe in January, if not February, and they're now funded and they're getting payouts, or they're on their way to getting payouts. So we have one person, I think Kyle, I believe Kyle started with us in January. He's funded, I think 5 or 6 accounts, and he's gotten his first payout. Then we have Mike. You guys probably see my mentoring sessions with Mike, our one-on-ones. Mike finally got funded, I think last Friday. So he took his first trade this week on his funded account, and he is now in profit on his PA account. And then we have a couple other people. I think Shiv here as well. Shiv has like a couple PA accounts and he's on his way to getting payouts. And there's one other person, I can't think, Craig. So Craig as well. Craig has his funded accounts and he's on his way to getting payouts as well. So about 4 people who've been like, I guess, with new accounts more recently and got funded and are on the way to payouts, if not already got paid out. So congrats to you guys. You know, again, this is just a reminder for this type of market, you want to be careful because a lot of you guys did well for the past couple of months to get those accounts into a funded phase, but this type of market could make or break an account easily. Mainly because the movement is so big, right? These candles are huge, the ATR is huge, like one mistake could really screw up your account. So what I would say is take smaller contract sizes if you guys do decide to take entries here. Like take a little less than what you would normally risk. Like for me, I normally risk about like 2,250. I probably would risk less than this. Maybe like closer to 1,000, maybe closer to 2,000, but not the same risk that I normally take on regular trades. So looking at this right here, guys, we have a buy signal now. The sells are no longer of focus. We now have price pushing up to the upside. Buyer's been in control since this green line right here. And we have a buy signal right there that's currently active. So we're now looking for the opposite direction of price movement. We have price pushing up. We're going to look for that retracement and continuation back up. The target area that I'm going to be looking for is going to be the sessions right here. Right, so it's the sessions and liquidity right there. That's where I'm looking for prices and grab liquidity. Yeah, it's hard to say. I like where price is at for me here. If I get set for buys, I'll most likely take with a 120 point tick stop. Yeah, definitely. I agree too. I think this is a good area right here to trade because we're now in a range, right, Tarek? So at this point right here, if price does continue climbing up higher, it's probably going to push up to the sessions right there, right? And Tarek is going to go up for like about 120. This is going to be the problem with Tarek. The 120 is good if you get in like a little lower around this area. Because if you go to if you go too high, you're gonna get caught up in the sessions here. So yeah, I agree with you. I think this is a good area to be trading in for price to reach the liquidity up there. But like you said, you know, your TP stop loss is gonna have to be pretty wide. Or you can probably go for 100 here. All right, so we have a possible MPS V2 setting up over here, guys. Let's see what these would have to be adjusted though. Fine. All right, so if the candle here closes green, this is going to be an MPS V2. It just has to close above this momentum right here. I don't like how these candles are like kind of iffy though. It's got to for sure close green. That's got to be a pretty decent, like for sure. So there's a green candle right there, guys. If you guys are looking to take it, this is an MPS V2 for a buy. It closed green at the very last second, so it's not one that I'm personally going to take. I'll follow it for you guys, but I'm not going to take it here. I had to adjust my contract sizes to 100. I don't think I'm going to go past 100. I think 100 is like that's going to be my threshold right there for my TP stop loss. I don't know if you're in this position right here, Tarek, but I'm going to be following it with you guys. For anyone who decided to take it, I just didn't have, like I said, when these candles close, I need to for sure close green. I'm not trying to get into any FOMO entries like I did on Monday, right? On Monday, this thing closed like at the last second, and I got in last second, and you guys know how that played out. But yeah, I think 100 points could be good here. So again, if you guys are not familiar with the MPS V2, this is a main strategy we've been applying pretty much all year. We have a buy signal, retracement, continuation, confirmation right here. And it is pushing up right there. Looks like Sam caught it and he took it to looks like Sam might have got out at 50. Got out at 50, Sam? So Sam actually went for a 50-50 right there. Yeah, I wanted to get in with you on this one, Tarek. It was just this candle over here was just not, like if this candle closed like this one right here, then I for sure would have jumped in with you. But because it was closing green at the very last second, I already learned my lesson from Monday. You know, I'm not going to take that risk there. Let's go and take a look at the confluences though. So I just want to see, let's see if there's any confluences here to point towards the buys looking good. So we got price pushing away from the value high right here. It's not a clean rejection, but we do have price pushing away from it. Same with the 30-minute over here, it's pushing away from the point of control. The 1 hour over here, same thing, no rejections, but it is pushing away from the point of control. Looking over here at the volume profile. So we did get a rejection right here off the volume profile. There just isn't enough confluences here. You know, with these buys, it looks like. I mean, there is some. So we do have rejection right here off the clean chart. Rejection off the volume profile. Just the market profile, we didn't have any confirmation there specifically. The support resistance is kind of tricky because we're in the weekly resistance zone. But we do have, if this candle closes with this nice wick, I think this is going to be pretty nice push to the upside from here. Basically a break and retest. So what I see here is we do have some confluences, so break and retest of the pivots, price pushed above, retest, continuation up higher. So let's see. Yeah, Glenn said 50 was a bit too tight for me. Yeah, me too. I think 50 I would have been kind of, because the ATR is so high. That's why I wouldn't, for me personally, I think 50 is just a little too tight. But if you're able to snipe those entries, the 50 points, they do their job for the most part. So the trade's still running, guys. I'm not in this position, but there's a few people in the group who are. Target's in it. Sam took it, but he took it for 50 points, hit his TP already. This trade is starting to just continue to go sideways here at the moment. But if price does push up, we do have some confluences to the upside. And then the target area is going to be the sessions right here. That's where I'm expecting price to push to if it does push up higher. Oops. Again, I'm not in this position. I'm just following it for you guys. This green candle over here just did not close green for me like I wanted it to. It needs to close like a full candle, not a small doji like this where it chose the green side at the last second. Let's see, Sam said, honestly, without a mentor, don't even bother trading these markets. All newcomers, this is a bad market, so don't be demotivated. Just wait it out. Yeah, I agree with you too, Sam. I mean, this is a new market to like a lot of people, right? It's a new market, and it's also a tricky market. Yeah, Tarek said I would have wished for a better green candle, just didn't want it to be close to the session highs. Yeah, which I agree with you too. Tarek, that's why for me, I was like, I'd probably go for 100, not 120. It looks like your TP is about to get hit right here, Tarek. Let's get that full TP, and there you go, full TP right there. Nice work, Tarek. Great analysis on that trade right there. It played out like we wanted it to, right? So it did what we wanted it to. It took a little bit longer than usual, but it did play out exactly how we wanted it to. And full TP right there for your trade. So great work on catching that. I would have taken it with you if we had a better green candle, but I'm glad it hit for you there. So all right, guys, nice work to whoever caught this. Looks like Sam caught it, Tarek caught it. I don't know if anybody else here hopped in on that, but I did not catch it myself, so it's not going to count towards my trades, of course. I would have wanted it, but I mean, it did exactly what I said was going to happen, right? Pushed up to the sessions there. I said, if we get the intro here, the target's going to be the sessions, and that's exactly where price went up to. So nice work, guys. PTR is back to like about 100, so it's sort of starting to smooth out. Sort of. All right, we got another buy signal here. Let's take a look at the confluences again. So looking over here on the 1 minute, we don't have anything here yet, but this might update a little later. Looking at the 30-minute, price is now above. Looking at the 1 hour, also above. Volume profile. Clean chart. And price looks like it's trying to get past the weekly resistance right there. So this is from the weekly chart. Yeah, now that we're at the session highs over here, see what happens from this point. So there's going to be two things that may happen around this area right here. Whenever price gets near the session highs like this, there's three things that may happen here. It's either going to break and retest and continue climbing up higher. It's either going to consolidate here for a little bit before it breaks out, or it's going to fake out and come back down. Right. That's typically what happens right here at the session highs. Let's take a look at the news real quick. Any updates? It's funny how they have these photos, like CNBC. They have like an archive of all the funny photos they use whenever they have breaking news. Like, I don't even know when this happened with Trump. I think this might have happened at the debate or something, but this definitely didn't happen recently. See what else we got here. It says S&P 500 ticks higher even as global trade tensions intensify. So this is what I mean about like the the tariff news like not really affecting the market anymore, right? On a long-term basis. I think at this point, people already start to bake in the tariff news. So like at this point, whenever news releases come out, there's breaking news, it's gonna spike price one direction or the other. But I mean, looking at this from a long-term perspective, let's go on the daily chart or hour. See like how price kind of stabilized back already? Well, not completely, but price started dropping from here. And if you look at this area here, so let me put a line here. The market has already started to stabilize from here, basically. So see from this point, we had a big drop last week up until Friday, and then from here, price dropped further, but now we're in this big range, which is perfect. We want to be in a range, right? We want to have a big range like this because we can trade within that range. We don't want price to keep dropping further and further and further, or continue climbing higher and higher and higher. It'd be okay, but like when you trade something like that, there's a lot of manipulation that may happen. Because we're here in a range now, this is kind of where price may be sitting for the next couple months, right? So we're going to be looking at between the 40,000 price point and maybe like the 36, if not 35,000 price point. So the range may get wider, but we want price to kind of be stabilized in an area so that like random stuff doesn't happen, right? So we'll be in that big range, and it looks like our average ATR might just go a little higher. So initially we're looking between 70 and 80. We might be closer to like 80 and 100 now, which is completely fine. We just have to, you adapt your contract size to those types of ATR movements. So, all right, so let's see what we got over here. We got a sell signal that's currently active. So there may be a possible MPS for a sell right here. Sell signal, retracement, possible continuation back down right here. Let's take a look at the overall. There's no confluences on the top end though, so that's gonna be one thing to maybe be aware of. Again, these confluences probably aren't gonna be super, super important in a market like this anyways, because I mean, price will just kind of go where it needs to go. So this is a possible MPS V2 setting up right here, guys. I think the candle's too big though. Yeah, this candle's it's just a little too big. It's over 100 points. If anybody's looking to take it, I'll mark it up for you guys again, but I'm probably gonna sit out on this. I'm just sticking to my game plan, guys. Like I said before, I'm not trying to take anything too risky here. I'm also not trying to FOMO into any trades. I'm just watching from a distance, and then when my opportunity comes, I will take it. There's no confluences here for a sell, so I'm not really looking to take that one. There's no rejections off the top end on the 1 minute, nothing on the 30, nothing on the 1. There's not really much here at all. We do have one rejection up here that happened a while back. It was at the 38,200 price point. And then price here is pulling right back into the weekly resistance zone. So we have an MPS V2 that's currently running right here. Again, like I said, I think it was just a little too far off from me personally, because the candle was just a little too big. This candle right here was 140 points almost. There we go, the MPS V2 to the downside. Nice. So Sam actually took that trade too. Nice work, Sam. I'm cashing that there. So Sam caught the trade there. He's going for 50 points. I don't know how Sam's doing it, but he's doing it. He's because the thing is, initially he pushes 50 points with like no retracement. So I can see how he's hitting it. It's just really tricky. CJ over here caught it for 75 points. Nice work, CJ. See, I think the 100 it's just a little too far out. Like this over here, right? This trade ran for way too long, guys. For me personally, I think, this starts to kind of stress me out a little bit if it goes too far like that. I prefer it to just hit right away. Like this, if you take this for 75 points, for sure would hit your TP right away. If you went 50 points, would have hit it even quicker. So for me personally, I don't I don't know, the 100 points is it's too big of a move for me. I don't really like it. So if anything, I might stick to my 75 for now. 75, 50, somewhere around there to get in and out very quickly. So nice work, Sam, on catching that. Also to CJ as well. Again, like I said, I'm just taking it easy right now because these candles are just too big for me. I just don't feel comfortable taking these big moves, and I also don't want to hold on to them for those big moves either. So I might just adjust my TP stop losses back to 75. I think 75 is a good sweet spot. Yeah, because this one would have hit for 75 as well. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna shift everything back to 75. I think 100 points is just it's a little overkill. So 75 and change back to 6. Yeah, Target only went 100 because ATR. If I went 50 ATR, well, ATR is 100 would have been stopped out. Also, 50 points as well below the Asia highs. Yeah, no, and I agree with you too, Tarek. For me personally, I think the hundreds would be good, but yeah, 100 is kind of just it's a little pushing it. Like for your entry over here, it's like thankfully this came out with this huge green candle, right? Because this thing went straight to your TP. But as it came down into drawdown right here, it's a little tricky. But I think he made the proper decision on like going off the ATR. For me personally, I would probably go off the ATR too. So like again, right here, like I said, I think 75 is a good sweet spot, if not less. Because if you're going for 100, you might be holding on to the position for a little too long. Like for yours over here at Hard, I think this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles. 5 candles is like the threshold. I think if it goes past 5 candles, you're kind of you kind of putting yourself at risk of this trade getting stopped out. So this trade over here is still technically running. This one over here, like for these scalps, I usually like them to hit within the first 1 or 2 candles, right? So basically within the first 2 minutes. These candles, like once you hold on to them for too long, they turn into day trades, right? I think anything over like 10 minutes is considered like a day trade at that point. It's no longer a scalp because you're holding on to it for a little longer. If you go past 10 minutes, you're probably gonna be holding on to that position for a long time, like even longer. But for these scalps here, we're just looking to scalp our quick entries in and out when possible. So these candles might not look like they're that big. They look like regular candles, but they're really not. So you guys can see here, this looks like regular movement, right? It doesn't look like it's moving crazy at all until you start to actually measure the candles. Like each candle here is about 100 points. That green candle right there was 110 points. Tricky. So, going back to the entries for today, the good thing is that the entries are hitting, and I remind you guys this pretty much every day. We had this earlier one, MPSV2 hit, MPSV2 hit right here as well, and then MPSV2 right here also hit for a sell. The thing is the entries are hitting, you just have to adjust your TP stop loss to the ATR to be able to survive the moves. So yeah, that's probably gonna be the hardest part for like I would say for a lot of new traders because having to calculate the ATR, you gotta be quick because the entry will come up and you're like, okay, what's the ATR? What am I using? 100? Am I using 75? Am I using 90? Am I using 80? What am I using? Right? For if you're just trading one account, it's easy. Or if you're trading one set of accounts, it's easy because you just click on this and then you're like, okay, whatever my TP stop loss is, I can set it to that, right? Like I can set it to 200. If my risk is 2,250, I'm like, okay, it automatically does it for me. But for me, I have different accounts. So I have Apex, I have my Take Profit Trader right now. I gotta check out my Purdy actually, because they haven't given me my login right now actually for that. They haven't given me my live account yet. I'll have to message them soon. They said it's supposed to take about like 5 to 7 business days. Yeah. Yeah, I'll get in touch with Purdy later to see that. Let's see, Sam said 37,644 liquidity is his target. Let's see if the sweep happens. 37,646. Okay, so Sam's looking for price to come down to here. Yeah, so price is actually in my liquidity already. So this is a 5-minute liquidity right here. This is where the gap was established from this upper push. It already broke and retested, so this gap's actually been used already. Came up, came down. Could be a good entry here for this engulfing. Happened earlier this morning. This over here also another break and retest. So it's retesting this area of liquidity right here. This is a 5-minute liquidity zone. These are the 1-minute zones right here. All right, so looking at price, guys, the volatility is starting to die down. So it's currently at 88 now. So like I said earlier, like we mentioned, the average ATR is going to be between like 70 to 80, which is where we're expecting price to come back down to. If it comes down to, or if it stays between 80 and 90, that's fine. It's just a little elevated. But we are basically where we need to be. So we'll again, we'll just wait and see here. What's gonna happen next. So yeah, if we get a bounce right here, possibly another buy signal. I think I might have to wait until closer to 7:30. So now that price is kind of stabilized a little bit, and we're not getting those crazy movements, we're starting to get some confluences here, right? So we got a rejection right here off the value high, it looks like, possibly on the 1-minute. 30-minute time frame over here. If price does push back up, we'll have a rejection right there off the value high. 1 hour, same thing, rejection off the value high. Volume profile, nothing here. Clean chart, rejection here off the whole number. So we're getting a nice push off this area right here. This is the 37,800 price point. So we're getting some confluences here. I mean, some pretty good ones for possible buy entry if it does end up playing through. Then a push back up right here above the weekly resistance. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a buy signal to come up. Once that buy signal comes up, I'll look for a possible MPSV2 to the upside. And then we'll go from there. Hey, what's up, Craig? Yeah, good that you can meet us today. There's a couple entries that came up that you weren't here for. There was an MPS that came up over here, one right here, and then one right here. They're all different TP stop losses though, because of the volatility in the ATR. It's been kind of shifting around a little bit. The sweet spot for me, I think, is 75, 75, because it looks like all of these over here would have hit for 75, 75. Sam's been taking them for 50-50. So I mean that's working for him. But I think the good median, so you can probably do a 50-50, a 75-75, or a 100-100. For me personally, I'm probably gonna stick to the 75-75s. I think that's a good midpoint because the ATR is starting to come down a little bit. So we'll see. See, Tarek is asking, oh yeah, sure. So to mark up my zones over here, Tarek, I'm just gonna take everything off. So I turn on the SRV2 indicator. So if you go to your indicators, go to your invite only scripts, it's gonna be the K2 SRV2. You click on that, it's gonna show you whatever's on the specific time frame you're on. So if you want, like what happened was I marked up that weekly a couple days ago because that was all that was up there. So I went up here to the weekly time frame and see how there's boxes, there's like these zones right here. What I do is I go to my rectangle tool, or your rectangle tool is gonna be right here. And then I'll click on the magnet tool so you get the whole box. You go to your settings. Typically you can draw it yourself like this if you want to. But for me to make things easier, I just extend it to the left and extend it to the right. So that's how I drew it up right there. That's how I got the resistance because price was below this point. And then I got the lower one right here. So the K2 SRV2 indicator is going to automatically plot the nearest support resistance. That's automatic for you. So if you want to do the week, if you want to do the 4 hour, you can do that as well. It just depends on your preference. It was just at the time being, it was only the weekly was the only one that I could kind of mark up. So that was a weekly. Let's see the 4 hour. See how the 4 hour, let me just type it. See the 4 hour is so far away that there's nothing down here, right? That's why I use the weekly. You go on the 1 hour. There's probably closer ones here on the 1 hour. Yeah. So if you don't want to use a weekly, you can take that one off and you can just mark up the 1 hour here. The 1 hour is probably gonna be better because it's closer. So you got one right there, resistance, and then you got support right there. And if you want to go even smaller, you can go down to the 30-minute. It's just up to preference, right? I try to get like as close as possible as I can. So like right here, the 30 minutes even closer. So but it lines up with the 1 hour. So I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna use the 1 hour. And if you want to go super, super tight, you can go down to the 1 minute if you really wanted to. Because the movement's so high that like these make it because volatility is so high. So all right. So looking at this here, I just remarked everything up. Now we have a better markup area. So up here, this is going to be the 30-minute resistance level. We got the 1 minute right here. Or got another 1 minute support level here. And then down here, this is a 30-minute support level. So it's just up to preference, like the thing is there's going to be so many different support resistance levels on different time frames that you can kind of choose which ones you want. I got the 1 minute here to keep it tight so I know exactly where these rejection points are happening, and then I got 30-minute over here for like the wider end of the ranges. All right, back to the charts, guys. Buy signal never came up, so there's no entry there for a buy yet. We have possible sell or not really. We have a possibility of an A plus setup though. So like looking at this so far, we get the sellers basically push price down from this point. There's no confluences from the up end. There's no engulfing, none of that stuff there specifically. This price right here is going to be where Sam's looking for a liquidity grab or a liquidity sweep, whatever you want to call it. Price is currently within the 5-minute liquidity zone though. So it's currently right here. It might just bounce off here, come back up. Who knows, right? And these are just used for confluences, guys. If you guys want to use them as standalone strategy, you can, but for the most part, I just use them as confluence. Like, okay, price is pushing away from this liquidity zone. Start for a bullish push to the upside. So the 1 minute candle over here. Sorry, this one's frozen. Maybe it's kind of laggy right now for some reason. All right, so there's nothing right here on the 1 minute yet. Pending buy signal right there. So you guys can see we're in this range now. So if I draw a box right here, we're like in a consolidation range now, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Right? It's not necessarily a bad thing. This is just showing that market is now kind of stabilized a little bit. We're not getting those crazy candles out of nowhere. Price is kind of just ranging between this area here. The volatility is still high. It's just we're in this current range. All right, so we got a buy signal that came up right here, guys. So we'll see here if an NPS sets up. We have a buy signal right here, retracement. If price ends up pushing back above this black line right here, this could be a possible entry for NPS V2. Let's take a look at the confluences. I don't have anything here on the 1 minute. However, we do have a rejection off the value high over here on the 30 minute. We also have a rejection off the value high here on the 1 hour. We don't have anything here on the volume profile. We have a rejection right here off the clean chart, full number, 37,850. We got price kind of sitting right here at the 1 minute support and resistance level. So we'll see. I mean, it's like Lynn said right now, there's wicks on both sides. It's not a good setup. Like this could be kind of similar to this one over here, right? It can kind of go back and forth for a pretty long time and then eventually push up above it. So that's something to look out for here as well. So again, if the candle closes above this black line right here, this could be a possible opportunity for an NPS V2. Gotta close above that area though. We've got 30 seconds left on this candle here. It's not looking like it's gonna close above it. I think we probably have to look for an entry closer to 7:30. At 7:30, this 30-minute candle is gonna close. We may have another opportunity for retest of that low, push back up. If the sell signal here closes here for a buy. Yeah, and then we have news at 7:30. It's a gas stock change. Thanks, Christian, for the heads up. It's a medium to low impact news, so it's not supposed to affect the market too much. We'll see what happens when that does play out. So it's basically it happens every. Yeah, thanks, Glenn. Glenn as well confirmed that. We got coming up at 7:30, so in about 2 minutes. It's like the volatility here is going to stay pretty flat for the most part. Probably we'll have to wait until closer to 7:30, which is okay. It's not going to be a huge deal here. All right, so this candle closed, still has not closed above it. Again, like I said, in order for this to be a buy entry for NPS V2, it's got to close above this black line. If we get a sell signal here, that's fine too. At that point, we will just reset. So this is actually a break and retest off the other area too, right here. Price broke below, retested, came back lower. Price looks like it's respecting the range that I marked up. So the range is being respected, of course, as you guys can see here. Respecting it from up here, and it's respecting it from down here as well. All right, so we got a sell signal here, guys. There's no longer opportunities here for a buy at the moment. So just have to wait for another buy signal here to come up. Wouldn't matter too much because we do have news coming up shortly in about 30 minutes. So I'd rather just wait. Again, like I said, I'm gonna wait for this 30-minute candle here to close, because once it closes, we can look for new rejection points. All right, gonna hang tight for a little bit, wait for this candle here to close. The price is respecting this range pretty nicely, as you guys can see here. Let's measure this candle. It's about a 100-point candle. We're getting these 100-point candles that kind of pop up here and there, but they're not as prevalent than earlier. So the buy signal didn't come up. This is technically the news candle right now. We have a gas stock change, like we mentioned earlier. So we have gas stock change here that came up. It's positive. Any updates here from CNBC? Let's see what it has to say. So JP Morgan, this is their CEO, Jamie Dimon, says a recession is likely outcome from Trump's tariff turmoil. Yeah, I can see that. So JP Morgan Chase CEO Jay Dimon said Wednesday he sees the economy likely headed into a recession as President Donald Trump's tariffs roil financial markets. Yeah, I can see that. So this was just released this morning, actually, about 2 hours ago. So, I mean, that was expected, right? We weren't expecting anything less. We have a possible buy signal here closing. The buy signal here closing, and then once it closes, we possibly look for possible opportunity for a buy. Looks like the signal is not going to actually close, fortunately. All right, Tarek said he's done for the day. Yeah, we'll see you back here tomorrow, Tarek. Daniel, it's funny, whenever you mention it, that always happens, right? So Daniel said triple confluence if it does, and he said nope. Nope or psych, right? Move right there. It came up, it was like psych. And it came back down to the last second. I thought ideally I want this to close with a buy signal, of course, because that's the only way we can take these MPSV2s for a buy. Looks like price is respecting this range that I drew up earlier. So I drew this up a little while back to signify this area where it's a range. So it's starting to look like a regular market again, right? You know, we have typically, this is market conditions now because market opened over here at 630, it pushed up a little bit, and then it went back into this big range. So these are normal market conditions. We're not getting like a super crazy drop or a super crazy push to the upside. It's a lot smoother. So we'll see what happens here, but we're getting close to the session, so I don't know if this buy here is going to be really useful for us. So let's see. Stern said US waste farmer bailout. Is that news that just came out right now? Yeah. So the IRS chief quits after immigration data sharing deal. Yeah, this just happened too. So the acting head of the IRS plans to resign after there was a deal for the yeah, it's crazy. This is pretty crazy. I mean, all the policies that are coming out. So it looks like the IRS cut a deal with Trump basically to release data on undocumented immigrants, which is crazy because like they're paying taxes and then they're gonna get deported. I mean, it is what it is. It's crazy. Well, we'll see what happens. It's a crazy time we live in, guys. There's going on, but there's all this other stuff happening behind the scenes that nobody's really paying attention to. So I guess we'll see what happens next with that. Yeah, Stern said that's why the market's slow. It's brewing. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, like what Stern just mentioned. There's stuff happening behind the scenes that that affects the market and affects your trades and affects how things move. But people aren't paying attention to that, right? I think right now the main focus is really just the tariff news, right? Even though the tariff stuff has already been baked into the price, like at this point, prices dropped so much that the tariff news isn't going to affect the market as much. I think people are done being afraid of the tariff news. There's now other stuff going on that's going to affect stuff probably on a bigger scale though in the year. Like I think the fact that we're going to go into a recession is like people are scared about it, but they don't understand the the consequences of it. So we'll see. I mean, there's so many things going on around the world. There's the tariff news, there's the trade war, there's the war in Ukraine, there's all these policies that are kind of getting shoved in right now while people aren't paying attention. Immigration, there's so much stuff happening here in the US, guys, that like it's all gonna start to like I feel like this whole tariff thing is a huge distraction. Like I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all, but I feel like whenever something like this happens, it's always a distraction for other stuff that's happening behind the scenes. There's a lot of stuff that's really happening that people aren't paying attention to. So I mean, it is what it is, but we'll see what happens over the next couple months, if not, by the end of the year. Because once people are done paying attention to the tariff stuff, all of a sudden there's going to be all these laws that have passed that nobody even was paying attention to. And then, yeah, it's gonna be crazy, guys. It's kind of it's exciting, but it's also scary to think what can happen next. Like we can go from a trade war into like an actual real war, right? And then with all the stuff that's happening behind the scenes, like an actual like something crazy can happen. Like I don't want to think that way, but like it's kind of like how September 11 happened, right? How the Twin Towers crashed. Like nobody expected that, but there was like all this other stuff that was going on behind the scenes too. So we'll see. We'll see what happens over the next couple months. If we go on to a full-on war with another country, because we have the trade war now, but this is I mean, I'd rather be in a trade war than an actual war, right? So we'll see. Because I know there's another deal happening with Ukraine and Russia that we're involved in, of course. And I haven't had any updates from that. But yeah, CJ said, I feel like we've been in a silent depression for the last 4 years, so it makes me laugh when news market news reports say we're going into a recession. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you guys have been trading with me for like the past 4 years or so, like what CJ said, we've been talking about this recession since like Biden was president, right? It's kind of been like we've been snowballing into a worse and worse economy since. So we'll see. But all right, guys, there's no entries here yet. I'm still looking for something to take here. We have a sell signal that still hasn't been completed yet. So we have a sell signal, retracement. If a red candle comes up and closes below this black line, this could be a possible opportunity for a sell. But you can see that we're still pretty far away from it. So I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Maybe the next, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes. But let's see if there's any confluences here. So there's nothing here on the 1 minute. We do have a rejection right here on the 30-minute time frame, rejection off the value high. There's nothing here on the 1 hour. It's a rejection on the bottom end, actually. We have a top rejection right here after the volume profile. We have a top rejection right here that happened a while ago. We also have some lower rejections right here. And we have price currently sitting at the 1 minute resistance and support level. So we don't really have much here right now. I mean, again, price, if it does come below this area, this could be opportunity for a sell. But we would have to just wait for that to play through. Sam said missed the buy over analysis, waiting for liquidity sweep and missed. Yeah, price never came back to that area, huh, Sam? I think yours was down here at 36,646. Yeah. Yeah, it hasn't came down yet. All right, so this may be possible opportunity for MPSV2 guys for the sell. Look for it to close below this black line. I think this will be one that I'd be okay with taking. As long as it closes below, it's got to for sure close below. It can be bouncing like it's doing right here, like what happened on Monday. It's got to for sure close below. If it doesn't, I'm just going to sit out of it. I'm not really forced to take anything here right now, but if it does close below, it'd be nice. All right, so no close below this line here. There's no MPSV2. That's what I was looking for. Possible opportunity right there. Yeah, let's see. Daniel said not conspiracy, but 9/11 happened a few days after the Pentagon couldn't account for a few $1 trillion. That's crazy, right? Yeah, no, and I believe it too. Like whenever something like is happening around the world, so there's always some sort of distraction that happens. I feel like it's all part of the bigger scheme here, of course. Same with the tariffs, I think this is part of a bigger scheme as well. All right, so we have another possible MPSV2 setting up right here, guys. It has to close below the black line, like for sure close below it. Again, I don't like how this here is kind of bouncing off it like that. If it's not a clean close, then obviously I'm not going to take it. This isn't a clean close here. Yeah, still nothing there. Yeah, Christian said also somebody got insurance on those two buildings a few years ago before the event. Yeah, no, it is crazy. There's a lot of different theories behind it, but it's for me, I don't really pay attention to that stuff too much. I let stuff like that happen, and then I look at the market to see how people react to it. Same with the tariff stuff, right? Tariffs happened, price was obviously supposed to drop, and then now it's back up for correction. All right, so again, I'm still looking for it to come back below here. It's not happened yet. The ATR is back to 77. So like I said earlier, this is normal ATR. So from my perspective, this is kind of normal market now. We're back down between the 70 and the 80. It's pretty much what we were talking about previously. And my TP stop loss here is set to 75.75. Let's see, Stern said, saying you hear in Europe regarding that, Sean, all countries Giving warnings to have survival package at home for at least a month because you never know. I know, right? You really never know. Anything could happen. All right, guys. So we're looking for price to close below this black line. Again, for sure, I need it to for sure, like basically close down here, because if it doesn't, then it's kind of pointless. There's too many areas of liquidity down here now. Like it's way too many. We've got about 5 seconds left on this candle. It's not below it, so I'm probably not going to take this here, and it's not going to be a for sure candle close. So right there, there's a possible opportunity for an entry right here, guys. If anybody is looking to take it, it's currently running. Like I said, I wasn't going to take it unless it closed for sure. It's currently running in profit. This is a 75 TP stop loss. It looks like it's about to hit. It's a little bit further. Yeah. So this is exactly what I was looking to take here. But because it closed at the last second, it did not meet my criteria. So Daniel over here caught it for 50 points. Nice work, Daniel. Daniel's in and out of that position already. Trade's still running. I'm not in the position, but this is pretty much what I was looking for. I was looking to take this entry here. I'm just having a lot of PTSD from Monday. If you guys remember on Monday, this is exactly what happened, and I took the trade and it lost. So like now I'm kind of taking it easy, not getting into these trades that are kind of iffy. But here you go with the entry right there. So the ATR is a lot lower now. So like at this point, I think a 70 might have worked, or a 50-50 like what Daniel used. So volatility is so low. So it's still running to that 75 right there. It's almost at its TP. If you take it for 70, already hit. If you take it for 60, already hit. If you take it for 50, it for sure hit already. Yeah, the 50 would have hit right there already. Yeah. So Zoom over here says saving capital is still a win. I agree 100%. It's still Wednesday, guys. So we have 2 more days of trading left. So I'm not really kind of forced to take anything right now. I'd rather be conservative, especially when the market's so unpredictable. So let's look back at all of our entries for today. They pretty much all had different TP stop losses. First one over here was 70. This one over here is 75. This one over here is 75. And this one over here was, well, this one was actually 100. I just changed it a little later. So if you look at all the entries here, guys, this was 70 points, this was 100, this was 75, and this was 50 or 70, depending on what you want to set it to. This just goes to show that there's no consistency in the market right now. It's well, there's consistency in movement, but there's no consistency in like actual volatility. Like right now, the ATR is currently at 73, so like you can use between a 70 or 75. But it's just tricky. You have to be quick. So like I said before, if you guys are trading directly on TradingView, I mean, I think this is like the best tool that you can use if you're only trading one account or one prop firm, because you can set your TD stop loss super quickly, right? 75. So if you wanted to do 75, close this out. So say for example, you want to do 75 and then 75, right? And then your risk is 22.50, like what I would use. Same thing with this here. If you wanted to change this to like 50-50, it would automatically change your contract size. For me, I can't do this because I have like 20 accounts here or 27 accounts. So I have to I gotta change them all manually. So yeah, if you guys can trade directly on TradingView, I think this is probably your best option if you're only trading one type of account. But unfortunately for me, I have to make adjustments on the other accounts because they're different account sizes. All right, we have another possible opportunity right here for a buy now. We have a buy signal close right there. Let's see if there's any confluences here for a buy. There's nothing on the 1 minute. We have a little bit of a rejection right here off the value high. Rejection right here as well off of value high. Nothing here off the point of control. It's actually a rejection from the top end. Clean chart over here, no rejections. A rejection off the top end. Price is actually within the this range right here. Yeah, Sam said it's making a flag consolidation. I can see that. It's making a flag consolidation to the downside right here. So with this setting up, like you said, Sam, if this comes back up and breaks above it, but it's not looking like we're getting a sell signal here, so probably not. Looks like it might break through here. Continue dropping. Yeah, we're getting closer at 8 o'clock, guys. If there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to hop into the chat. Otherwise, I think we might be wrapping it up pretty soon. There's just not very much going on here. The volatility is pretty consistent around 70 to 80 right now, which is good. We have some sort of consistency here. So it goes back to what the average was for yesterday, right? If you guys remember yesterday, we were trying to figure out what the average ATR was. And the average ATR over here it's pretty much lining up exactly how we anticipated yesterday. So I think 75 might be the sweet spot for entries, guys. I'll probably stick to 75 over the next couple of days. It's going to vary because the tariff news is going to affect the market again as we move forward. Also, the news for today at 11 o'clock. So at 11 o'clock, we have the FOMC minutes. So the FOMC minutes will be coming out later today at 11 o'clock. And then tomorrow we have CPI data. And then Friday we have PPI data, inflation news. So we got inflation news tomorrow on Friday. And then today we have the FOMC minutes. Oh, you're good, Sam. The flag was setting up right here too. So, they make it. Same analysis. Flag was setting up there. It's going into my consolidation area at the lower range. Price actually broke below it, so this could be possible opportunity for sell here now. Let's see. There's not very many confluences here for a sell yet. There's one here on the 30-minute rejection off the top end. There's nothing here on the 1 hour. There is nothing here off the volume profile. Possible rejections right here on the 1 minute. Nothing really over here on the SR chart. So the only real confluence is this 30-minute market profile right here. It's rejecting off the value high. Let's see, certain said the 1 minute and 5 minute head and shoulders. I can see it right there. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Yeah, so there's a head and shoulders right there that's currently running off the 1 minute. We'll see if an MPS V2 sets up over here. We have a sell signal. We're just looking for that retracement candle, basically. Continuation. If we get that. If not, it's fine. I'm not going to force any trades here. As you guys know, it's getting closer to 8 o'clock. So if the MPS V2 comes up here, this could be this could be a good setup because price could be trying to push back down to open right here, right? This is the target area for it to continue dropping to. So there's a possible MPS V2 setting up here if we get this green candle that closes. So we're looking for a green candle here to close for retracement and then possible continuation back to the downside further. You got 30 seconds left on this candle right here. Again, this candle has to close green for us to confirm the retracement. There's no entry here yet, but this is going to be the second step. So we got the sell signal right here. We're now looking for the retracement, and then we'll look for the continuation back down. ATR is currently at 78, so if you want to take the trade here, probably use a 75, maybe something smaller. All right, so we have a possible setup here for an MPSV2. If this candle here closes red. Look at the confluences, main confluences is that 30-minute candle right there. The thing that I like here is that price is pushing down to the point of control. I think that's probably going to be like the biggest factor that I like about this here for MPSV2. So this here is going to close. This candle closes red. It's going to be an MPSV2 for a sell. We're looking to maybe get into this here. It's got to for sure close red though. We can't have this where it's like going back and forth, red and green, red and green. It needs to come down a little further. Yeah, I don't like this candle right here. Now I'm gonna sit out on this one. It's not even closing red there. Okay, so I'll follow here on this next one if this candle closes red. But that candle did not close red, so there's no entry there. See, I don't like when the candles close like this. I need it to for sure be red. Because the last thing I want to do is get into a position and at the last second it closes opposite. I'm like, yeah, it's not even an entry. Like this isn't an entry here yet. Until it actually closes with a red candle. So we got 30 seconds left on this candle right here. Twenty seconds. Again, I don't like the candles that are like this. I need to have some sort of like candle that I know for sure is closing red or closing green. This candle's got 5 seconds left on it. Does not look like it's going to close red. So again, nothing there. Let's see if we have one more shot here. So we'll see how this candle here closes. Crazy thing is I haven't seen any big candles come up here or big orders come in lately. All right, so this is a possible MPSV2 for a sell right here if this closes red. Looks like it's going to, so let's see if I get into this one here. Got the candle closing in about 5 seconds. Candle closing in 2, 1. Let's see what we've got here.
Or
Let's see. Entry wasn't super good.
order filled.
Change this a little bit. 75. What was the price now? Just this a little bit. 5. And just this a little bit to 25. That's it right there. That's where it's supposed to be. The candle was a little big, so this thing ended up closing red, but it ended up closing red a little farther off. So it, I mean, it's a little too big. That would have been like one of the red flags right there. This might hit my stop. Hit my stop. It's all good. So it's okay, guys. I took a loss right there.
Stop filled.
It's just one of those trades. So this trade did come up. It was a valid setup. The only thing here that I think was probably the thing that was bad about the entry was the candle was too big. Ideally, I was trying to get in like right here, but then it ended up closing like way down here at the last second. So I wouldn't be surprised if this thing comes all the way back down. And then, because it typically when you get a candle that's too big like this, it'll retrace up a little bit and then possibly come all the way back down. So it's all good. I'm gonna eat that loss right there and move on to tomorrow and then hopefully bounce back from that trade. So, all right, guys, it's about to be 8 o'clock. If there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to hit me up on Discord. It is, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the thing comes back down. It's gonna be super annoying if it does, but the trade looked good. Yeah, Sam over here said hit stop loss, but it looks so good though. Yeah, the setup here looked great. I mean, it looked like it was going to come down further and reach down to the opening price here. I also had the target right here for the point of control. So I think this is still a good setup. So overall, this was a good setup. It was just the candle was a little too big, and it did pretty much what typically happens when the candle is too big. It comes up to the candle and then it comes right back down. So. I'm gonna eat that up, and then I'm gonna hopefully bounce back tomorrow and Friday with some W's. But all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up. Otherwise, today was kind of a choppy day for the most. Well, not choppy. It was a rangy day for the most part. As price kind of pushed up, came back down, kind of went around a little bit. Yeah, CJ said it did a consolidation move. Yeah, exactly. So today was pretty much, it wasn't super crazy like it was on Monday. It was actually a little less crazy than I was expecting because with the tariffs going into effect this morning or at midnight, actually, I was expecting it to be a little crazier, but it actually was decent today, where we can kind of read the price action and look for opportunities for entry. But yeah, it's all good. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, hit me up. Otherwise, we'll be back here, same place, same time tomorrow as we continue on with this trading week. Yeah, CJ said it's okay though. We're still learning this new market and we're surviving unlike a lot of other traders. See you tomorrow. Yeah, all right, guys. See you guys then. If you guys have any questions, hit me up on Discord.